Hello and welcome. My name is Imran Siraj and I am Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering Department at St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurugram. My college is affiliated with Maharshi Dayanand University, Rohtak. So, in MDU syllabus, we do have a paper called Industrial Engineering in Mechanical 6th semester. So, I will teach industrial engineering to the 6th semester student. In lecture number 1, we will know what is industrial engineering and what are the important topics associated, what are the factors that affect industrial engineering, and what are the reasons why we have to study in industrial engineering, what is the outcome. These are the basic plans and layout of what we have to do today in our lecture number 1. So, this is the industrial engineering starts with the production. So, what is production? Production is to add value to the raw material. So that is called production is also known as value addition to the raw material. Raw material is basically that does not have any specific shape or size, and we do apply and we do put this raw material basic shape and size to the required shape and size. For example, we are having this speaker. So uh, this is made from plastics, and raw material was in the powder form. That basically we have to give it to the shape, and then we have applied so many processes in order to convert the raw material to this uh, final product. So production is the process in which we have some certain input and certain process, and this process is responsible for converting the raw material into output. So first is production, and then the production system comes. So the production system are there because in the industry we have to make a lot of components, number of components, not only single component. So dealing all with the processes, all with the production systems, all with the processes, study of all these systems is known as industrial engineering. So there are a number of inputs and outputs are controlled, and this control comes under the scope of industrial engineering. We have to study about the factors that are associated with the productions and quality and material movement and management. All these systems come under the scope and study of industrial engineering. So production system, we can see in the input is certain input is given, and to get some certain output under a process, and there we need an adjustment in order to have this conversion process in place. So this is production system. It is an organized process of converting raw material into final product with a feedback loop. Feedback loop is given because if we are doing something wrong, that we must be knowing that, because at the time of converting the raw material into final product, there are processes that do continuously work, and when this work is done, there are certain procedures at the same time that keeps the current output in the at the norms. But many times the current norms or the regular parameters don't work. So we have to take feedback when the product is produced, when the part is produced. So we check the quality, and then we come back what corrections do we need to apply in order to have good products. So we need a feedback in production systems. Then productivity is a part is different from production. Production means we have to put we have to convert the raw material into the process part or final output. But in productivity, what we have to check the efficiency or the output of a certain process or product or industry. So productivity is rated as output divided by input. That means how much we are getting upon investing how much. So this is called productivity. Productivity means, for example, we are having uh, industry or a machine or a process that can produce 1000 parts, and we are not, somehow we are not producing 1000 parts because of so many factors. That means we are not gaining productivity as one. So output is less as compared to input. So this is called productivity. The quantitative ratio between what we produce and what we use as resources to produce item. For example, we are producing parts of 1000 rupees and we are investing 1500 rupees to produce the parts. So productivity is 1000 divided by 1500. So input is higher and output is lesser. So in order to be higher productivity, to have higher productivity, we need higher outputs. So productivity is ratio between output and input, and it can be measured in many terms. So industrial engineering, as we are studying the topic, industrial engineer is concerned with the design, installation and improvement of production system. That means industrial engineering is relevant or scope of the study uh, of design, installation and improvement of production systems. Production systems means where a place where a number of parts are being produced and a number of processes are taking place. So those are the production systems that are used to convert raw material into finished good. So those are production systems, and designing, installation and improvement. This all comes under the scope and study of industrial engineering. So industrial engineering is concerned with design, installation and improvement of production systems. The objective of industrial engineering to smooth the productions, to reduce the wastages and increase the productivity. Simple, so simple. Reduce the wastages, increase the productivity and higher margins, hence higher margins, smoothen the production system at the time. Production manager is a person who is involved with production, with planning, controlling, directing, and covering the entire covering the entire activities of the production facility. This is the job of production manager. So come next to cost of production or cost in production. Cost in production is directly involved. So we have basically two types of cost. One is direct cost or indirect cost, and then we have factory overheads or factory expenses. Direct costs are also known as prime cost. These are basically costs that are directly related with the production of the part. For example, if we buy a material for 100 rupees, if we give 800 bucks to a worker that is working, and electricity and other power that is consumed direct in producing directly to the parts. So that means we are 100 plus 800 plus 100. So all these comes as 1000. So 1000 is the prime cost or direct cost of the production. Whereas factory overheads or factory expenses are the indirect costs that are associated with the production. For example, the material that is, for example, if we use lubrication to lubricate a machine, or we use several other dusters and other materials to produce the part or produce the production. So those are also bought, and the indirect, the material, the cost involved indirectly in purchasing the material and indirectly procuring the labor, because the operator is operator is producing the part but he is not supplying the part to the desired place, a customer. So an indirect labor and other many other labors and many other workers are also involved. So this, all these costs cover under indirect cost or factory overhead or factory expenses. Indirect materials contain cutting fluid, lubricants, grease, cottons, jute, stationery item, etc. Whereas indirect labor, watchman, supervisor, higher offices, etc. Indirect expenses, rent, land, telephone bills, facility development, electricity bills, etc. Factory cost or the prime cost plus factory head. Factory cost is the total cost that is involved with prime cost plus factory cost overhead. Total cost, factory cost plus marketing, advertisement, transportation, etc. This is the total cost. Selling cost, this is the cost at which the this is the basically this is the cost at which the product is sold in the market after adding the profit. Because if industry, any person works for profit, so industry also works for profit. So when we produce the part or component, we add profit. For example, we are spending 1000 rupees a part to produce, so we'll be putting our profit 200 or 300. So this is called, after adding the profit into the basic cost or total cost, we will be having selling cost. So we will sell that product for 1200 bucks or 1300 bucks. That is the selling cost. So come next is the break-even analysis. Break-even analysis, as I told about the total cost, selling cost, and volume of production. So volume of production is total cost. We have earlier already explained. Selling cost already explained. Total cost is the cost that is consumed, total money consumed for producing a part. Selling is the, after that we add a percentage of margin, because we are working for the profit. Everybody is working for the profit. Everybody is working for the revenues to be generated. So we add a profit margin in the total cost, then selling cost. And so we are well acquainted with the total cost and selling cost, but there is a, what is production volume and how this volume is to be controlled, because we have to earn the profit. So how much volume is necessary to produce a to run a profitable show, a profitable business. So we will study, will come total cost, we have already studied, fixed cost, total cost, then come fixed cost or the cost that will remain constant throughout the production. If we produce one part or 1000 part, this cost is not going to change. For example, raw material, for example, labor expenses, these are directly proportional, these are associated with fixed costs. So this will not change if we uh, produce one part or 1000 part. But there are certain costs that basically reduce with the number of volumes we create. So those are called variable cost. First is fixed cost, then variable cost. So you can see there is a graph between volume of production unit and cost. So variable cost keep on declining, cost will keep on increasing as the number of parts are to be produced. So variables are will be keep on declining. We will explain in the next. These are the semi-variable cost. Semi, the line will remain constant up to a certain point, then it will increase. Then fixed cost, number of units parts produced, total sale. So we can see this is the fixed cost, then variable cost, and then total cost, fixed cost plus variable cost, F plus V into X, volume of production. Total sales are total revenue. That is the money that generated at the end of the day. We have produced 1000 parts, selling 1200 per piece. So our total revenue will be 1200 multiplied by 1000. That is 1,20,000. So this is the total sales or total revenue generated. Then come to the break-even analysis. That is the most important analysis. Break-even analysis basically tells how many minimum parts that we have to produce that we don't suffer losses. We have set up a industry, and we can produce 1000 part per day, and with certain fixed cost and certain variable cost, how much parts are necessary in order to remain in the market or in order not to lose our money. So this is called break-even analysis. As we can see in this graph, this is the total sale, this is the total sale, and this is the total cost. This line represent total cost and this line represent total sales. Where these two meet is known as break-even point. And break-even point correspondingly tells how much minimum parts are to be produced in order to have profit or no profit and no loss. After that, we'll see a profit range is there. So when we increase the parts, we will see we start earning money, and if we are not able to increase this much X amount of parts, we would be losing our money. So before this break-even analysis, there is loss, and after this break-even analysis, we will be having profits. So this is the break-even point. Break-even point states how much minimum parts we have to produce in order not to suffer any losses and not to earn any profit. Above this point, this is the scratch point, and above scratch we will start earning, and if we go below scratch we will lose our money and we will suffer the loss. So break even analysis basically tells us how much parts are to be produced by us in order to have no loss and no profit. So break-even point is the point, it is the volume of production where total cost equal to total sale and organization neither earn profit nor suffer any loss. It is also known as no profit, no loss. Total sale, as we discussed, total cost plus total profit. Total sale S is equal to S into X. Total cost is fixed cost plus variable cost. Profit P, fixed plus variable plus profit P. Profit P Sx is equal to F plus Vx plus P. So we can say X is equal to total number of parts that is to be produced, rupees, total number of units that are to be produced. Break even point P is equal to 0, X is equal to F by S, profit 0. So when profit is 0, X is equal to F by S into V. So break even point will tell us how much sale we have done, and above this terms related to break-even point. Angle of incidence, theta. This is the angle at which the sale line cuts the. There are two lines and these two cutting. Theta is contribution margin, then contribution margin, marginal profit, how much every product contributes. Then this is profit volume graph that basically tells us how much profit we have earned after this break-even point. Okay, so we'll be discussing more into our next session, and I will end this session. Okay, bye.